Hello and welcome to UMass Sports Weekly, your number one source for all the happenings in UMass athletics. I'm your host, Chris Corso. We have a bunch of content for you this week, so let's get started and roll that tape. See how the Minutewomen performed in pink on Valentine's Day. Could Caddy Lane and UMass keep that 5-game winning streak alive? Then we'll have an exclusive feature with UMass Athlete of the Week, freshman Brandon Montour of the hockey team. Stay tuned, we'll be right back to discuss all this and more. This is UMass Sports Weekly.
This is UMass Sports Weekly.
The Minutemen hockey team took on UMass Lowell at the Mullen Center for the second time in 1 week on Friday night. UMass came off a 5-2 victory against the Riverhawks and looked for another win against the number 16th ranked team in the country. Byrne was there with the coverage of the game.
Hockey's the game, UMass is the name. The Minutemen and the Riverhawks square off. And here's Coach Micheletto on Steve Jacobellis' return to this game.
Obviously, mostly happy that Steve's healthy. And then secondly, it was nice to see him in the lineup.
And the Minutemen are ready for the Riverhawks. Here we go as the Riverhawks start off with a goal by Ryan McGrath in the top left shelf. It's now 1-0 Riverhawks. But the Minutemen come back with a rebound goal. Up. We score? No, we don't score. The ref says no for some apparent reason. Now here comes Brandon Montour to the left side. Top right shelf. This kid is incredible. Brandon Montour makes it 1-1 in the first period. Now, Minutemen again. Goalie has no idea where it is. Up. Shane Walsh does. Puts it to the back of the net. It's 2-1 UMass. Now here comes a familiar face. Kevin Boyle coming in for the other goalie. Now here's Tommy Kaludi asking the coach why he didn't start tonight's game.
Well, I want to give another kid a chance who's worked very hard in practice in a non-conference game.
And why Boyle?
Well, because I thought he wasn't as sharp as he can be. Any other questions?
Boyle's former teammate Steve Mashley's had an impressive game tonight. But here's Dennis Kravchenko on his performance and one of his assists to Steven Jacobellis.
Tried to get around the guy, pushed it forward, made a move, and I saw the D kind of go down. I kind of wanted to shoot it, but at the same time, I saw Jaco just wide open. He didn't even need a call for it. I knew he was there, so made a good play to Jaco, and kid knows how to bury it. So.
Evan Campbell would score for the Riverhawks, and then another score would come after that to send it to OT. Here we are in OT as the Minutemen try something, but back and forth, nothing works. Here's Coach Micheletto on how UMass has played against nationally ranked teams.
It comes down to a simple philosophy. Once we figure out what it is that we're really good at and commit to being there for each other like we have as the season's worn on. So again, regardless of who we're playing, non-conference opponents, conference opponents, we've been able to, again, put ourselves in position to win games. So just so happens that we play in the best conference in the country, and most of the teams that we're going to play on a given night in conference are ranked right now.
UMass would take the tie against number 15 UMass Lowell, 3-3.
Welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. I'm here for the hockey segment, and we have our hockey experts here, Byrne and John Andersen. Liam, we saw your tape right there. We saw Coach Micheletto say it. They're in the best conference in the nation, and that's the Hockey East. So what has this team done to stay in these games with these nationally ranked opponents?
Well, it was normally just in the beginning of the season that they weren't as good against the national ranked team. So later in the season, after Christmas break specifically, like Frank Vetrano said last week, they've been playing a lot better since Christmas break. So they've gone up against Merrimack, UMass Lowell, as you just saw, and Quinnipiac, and they beat all three. Those are three nationally ranked teams. And upcoming, they have Providence, which is also an 11th ranked team. So I think they combined together and hey guys, we really got to play just up to our standards that we know that we can play in. And we're in a tough conference, but we're UMass. We can do it. And I just think that they can beat Providence because they've beaten these nationally ranked teams like UMass Lowell and Merrimack. So I just think they've done a great job, like Coach Micheletto said.
Well, Liam, a big reason why they're staying in these games is because of the performance of goalkeeper Steve Mastelers. Now, at the beginning of the season, he did not perform well at all. He was on and off with Henry Dill, the young goalkeeper that UMass has. But now it seems like Mastelers has kind of picked it up as of late. We'll talk about the next UMass Lowell game in a little bit. But for now, in this UMass Lowell game, John, tell me a little bit about his performance and why he's been better as of late.
Well, especially for a guy like Steve Mastelers, he came in this year thinking, oh, the job's mine, Kevin Boyle's gone, he's been gone. It's just me and it's Henry Dill, and he's the freshman and the job's all mine. And, he got a little cocky with that attitude earlier in the season. He was letting in goals very early in games, often the first shot even, and he'd get pulled for Henry Dill much quicker, but the season goes on, and Henry Dill hasn't really done much. Steve Mastelers has been outplaying him tremendously, and he's really a rhythm guy, and, he makes the saves early, and he holds on for the rest of the game.
Well, that was a great game for UMass. Obviously, they go to overtime, and it's a tough loss, but just to see them still competing with a team like UMass Lowell is great. But then we go to the next day, and that's Saturday, and we see Steve Mastelers come out, and in just 14 minutes of the game, he gives up 4 goals, and he's pulled for Henry Dill. So we just gave him all these positive accolades, but John, tell me what happened in this game and what went wrong for UMass in that 7-1 horrible effort for them.
It's unbelievable, the downward spiral in the 3 games against UMass Lowell. The first game, obviously, they won 5-2. Then the tie, and then it's just like the analogy I was making before the show. It's like a Saw movie. All the cast of characters, they're all just getting mutilated, but somehow they get out of there alive. They did let up 4 goals in the first 14 minutes. Mastelers got pulled. Henry Dill came in. UMass Lowell did add another goal before Dominic Trento finally got the Minutemen on the board. And the final score was 7-1, but, good things you take from this game. The fact that they didn't let up a goal in the third period, maybe, because they've been doing that all year. They gave up all their goals in the first period this game. And as well as the penalty kill, 7 penalties by UMass, and there was only 2 power play goals in this game.
Oh, wow. So at least maybe you could take one positive out of a 7-1 loss.
Yeah,
but
really.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your input. Liam, I love that highlight tape. But now we're going to look at one more video, and that's freshman defenseman Brandon Montour had an exciting first half this year for the Minutemen. Obviously, he's still playing great. 3 goals and 13 assists on the season. He was our UMass Athlete of the Week. We saw that goal in that game against UMass Lowell. So our own Zander Manning had an exclusive interview and sat down with Montour.
Player and face on this UMass hockey team. His name, Brandon Montour. After being named Defensive Player of the Year as a member of the Waterloo Blackhawks in the United States Hockey League, he was drafted in the 2nd round by the Anaheim Ducks, making him the highest draft pick in school history.
He's got a great, obvious skill set. He's got very good hand-eye coordination, which allows him to have a good stick, and he's a very fluid and effortless skater at times.
Men come back the other way. Here's Montour leading the rush down the right wing.
Well, he's able to make himself part of the offense, no matter if it's on the rush or in the cycle or power play situations. So he's a threat whenever he's out there.
The net, Nichols was screened. I don't think you saw it. That's a power play goal.
He immediately made his presence heard, racking up 15 points in his first 13 games, earning Rookie of the Month honors for January. But why Amherst and not Anaheim, Minutemen instead of Ducks?
I think the biggest thing for me was the coaching staff bond, and I didn't think twice of switching my decision or nothing. It was just UMass the whole time. So,
after being drafted in the 2nd round by the Anaheim Ducks, high expectations were sure to carry over from the United States Hockey League to the Hockey East.
Yeah, no. I guess the people outside that, like you said, being the highest or whatever, but...
As they work it toward the goal shot, score! A short-handed goal for the Minutemen, Brandon Montour.
I try to use my skating as much as I can, and I believe I'm more of an offensive defenseman, and I like to create offense by joining the rush.
When it comes to Lee, right point, quick shot, Montour, he scores! Montour shot it through a screen, it hit something in front and deflected in.
He's already made his friends and enemies on the ice, but more importantly, he's found a friendly face off the ice in Captain Troy Power.
Well, first off the ice, he's a great kid. The 2 road trips that we've been on, he's been my roommate, so it's been nice really getting to know him away from the rink. And obviously on the ice, he's a very special player. He's got extreme amounts of talent, and he blends in with everyone and really helps everyone be better hockey players.
I'm Zander Manning, and this is UMass Sports Weekly.